Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel today for the first Alliance War video of the new season, Season 28, where we are facing MIBR. They're usually a Masters Alliance, so we've got a pretty difficult matchup on our hands here. So the team for today is going to be Dr. Doom, Dr. Octopus and Void. We've got 9 fights, 6 to be taken with Doom, 2 with Dr. Octopus and 1 with Void. So first fight here is just a Tigra on Vigorous Assault. This is a fight I've done many times before, I'm not too worried about it. Just want to make sure we can stagger the buffs or be in a Doom cycle when they activate, so we don't have to worry about her being unblockable. Main threat in this fight is if she gets to a special 2, so we just need to not give her an opportunity to throw it. So there we actually didn't have the stagger for the Arc Overload buffs, which did mean that she activated them, but we're going to go for our special 3 here and go for a bit of a Doom cycle. Now you're going to see something pretty weird happens here. I've not had that happen before where a hit misses. I do think it is part of her abilities, but thankfully she didn't get an opportunity to punish there, but it is something I need to keep in mind for the future. So second fight up here is going to be against a Cosmic Ghost Rider on Masochism. This is a really simple Doom fight. Pretty much no threat in this. I'm comfortable evading CGR Special 1, so that's not really a concern. And yeah, this is just going to be relatively quick, relatively simple. So going to go for a special 3 here. We're not going to be able to do sort of a full regular Doom cycle because he's not going to be at 3 bars after this, but we should be able to still get him down quite easily. Did have a Mystic Power Boost active, which gets us to a special 2 to finish him off. Now this next fight I was a bit more concerned about. This is a Hitmonkey on the Strike Counter Fury node. This is the main reason that I've got that Mystic Power Boost active. I also activated Power Start 1, and that will allow me to get to some special 2s to deal some big damage with that, because I want this fight to be over with as quickly as possible really. I don't think Doom is the ideal counter for this matchup. I originally had an Apocalypse assigned to this fight, but he was not going to be available in time for before I went to sleep and I had a middle mini-boss that needed to go down, so I ended up having to use Doom for this. Here I'm just looking for a good opportunity to use this special 2. We get there, the Incinerate gets rid of his Purify stance. So just need to worry about the evade one after. See there, the shot gets rid of it. Thankfully the armor up buff does help us a lot in that regard. So here I actually opt to go for a special 3. Does mean that Hitmonkey is going to have a couple of Furies. However, the special 3 actually does not give him his schemes, and it is obviously going to boost our damage quite a bit. You can see that armor buff meant that the special 3 itself did not really do a whole lot. Here we're going to go for a special 1 and then use a special 2 straight after that before he can use his own special 2, and he does go down. So next up is a Mcoc on the Power Snack mini-boss, and I'm going to be using Dr. Octopus for this fight. It's a very safe counter here. So the plan for the start of the fight is just to parry heavy a couple of times. So the first couple of heavy attacks I'm not going to be applying the power lock because the physics category is not at 100, but after that it will. And because Mcoc has this sort of really slow passive power gain, he is going to be reapplying that power lock every time that it is expired by the heavy. Now, the plan was to hold this special free until the power lock was about to fall off. That happened pretty much immediately as I got it. So now we're going to go for this, and then I just want to cycle special ones to keep that power lock up. So this is going to be a bit of a longer fight. Not really going to be dealing a ton of damage here. I'm not that heavily boosted, and he is going to have this constant willpower heal. So I could potentially go for some more heavy attacks here, but that would then mean sacrificing the longer power lock. So I'd rather play it slow and safe rather than take a potential risk and sort of have him cause the short power lock to expire and start gaining power normally. Using this strategy, it's very unlikely for the power lock to actually fall off since it is 15 seconds long. And because my Dr. Octopus is awakened, he's going to be stealing some power, which means I can just get up to my special one again faster. He's in Assassin's range now. I believe I have 2 points in it, so he's going to go down any second. So there my section 1 fight's done. Now we're moving on to section 2, where I'll be taking path 7. Got 3 Doom fights now, first of which is going to be a Mole Man on the Spike node. So the plan for this fight is just to build up to a special 3 and go for a Doom cycle. I do activate an invulnerability boost in case he decides to turtle up and not throw his specials. Now early on in this fight I probably could have just parried normally, because his debuff shrug early on is 1 second rather than 0.5. However, I ought to just bait heavies anyway. So I do think this is a pretty solid placement. You see there, just dexing on the special 1 actually gives him near enough another special 1 again because of how long that animation is. Here I wanted to use my special 1 when he was over 2 bars of power. However, it did not really work out. There I let him hit my block a few times with the rise to power node, and that is going to basically build up his power so I can steal more of it. Luckily he uses his special 2 there, and I should be safe to build up to my special 3 and go for a Doom cycle now. Special 3 does some pretty solid damage, go for a double medium, and then go for a special 1 here. So I could have immediately thrown this special 2, but I opted to attempt to bait out his own special 2 because I was not certain that it was going to kill, but he didn't want to use his special 2, so I just threw it before he had an opportunity to special 3, and it did end up killing. Special 3 wouldn't have really mattered. I did still have the invulnerability boost on, but I'd rather not take a special 3. Next fight up is against a Dragon Man on the Kinetic Transference and Aspect of Evolution node. Not particularly worried about this fight. So Doom is a great counter here. He can easily stagger and nullify the power charge buff on Dragon Man. He's got the power control for Kinetic as well, and once he's in Doom cycle we don't really need to worry about Kinetic because we're not going to be blocking a whole lot either. So now we do end up getting the Ineptitude on us, which is going to be some nice willpower healing. Now we're going to go for our special 3, and in this fight I'm actually going to go for a double Fury cycle. So as you can see, special 3 did not do a ton of damage. I think it might be the Ineptitude sort of weakening the Fury buff. Not 100% certain on that. But this is pretty much what this fight is going to be. Just get up to another special 3, throw it off. Doom is still very healthy. We've got that willpower healing, and obviously he's got really good block proficiency, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Aspect of evolution does not really seem to be coming into play that much here. So we are going in for another special 3 now, opting not to go for the special 2 just for added safety. And now another couple of combos and he will be down. And we finish on a full yellow bar. So this next fight is going to be my last Doom fight of the war. It is against a Kingpin on the Kinetic Transference and Feat of Indestructible 2 node. We've got a white Magneto pre-fight applied here, just backing out to make sure that it's actually on the fight. And that is just going to allow me to easily parry without having to give him a ton of power from Kinetic to get my ins. So the first shot does not get shrugged off, so whenever it doesn't get shrugged I am going to go for the heavy attack. Don't really need the staggers in this fight, but it allows me to build up power quicker. Opt to go for a special 1 here. Just didn't want to sit around baiting his own specials for half of the fight and get up to a special 3 a little bit quicker, which we do now, and we're just going to go for a single Fury Cycle I believe, and that will actually kill him. Don't think Kingpin is the best placement on this node anymore. He is fairly reliant on Protect to be good on this node here, or because you obviously couldn't really safely do Doom cycles against Protect. But now that it's gone, you can see just how easy this matchup is with Doom. So now moving on to Boss Island, and this is one of the fights I was quite concerned about. This is a Bishop on node 50. And I do believe that this is a very strong placement for Bishop after his buff and also the buff to the node. So I did check the SIG before going in. This is only a SIG 20 Bishop. So he needs to have around, I think it was either 26 or 27 prowess for his special attacks to be unblockable. So I don't massively need to worry about that. Plan is pretty much just to bait special 1s. I know they're going to do quite a bit of block damage, but we should be able to outpace it. But you can see already he does not really want to throw them special 1s very well. And that is going to come into play in a bit in this fight. So we are going for our own special 1s here just to speed things up. Now I was unsure in the fight on whether I wanted to keep going for special 1s once I got Fear of the Void up, or whether to save up for a special 3 and just not be feeding him prowess. Believe I opt to save up, yeah. But you're going to see here he just does not want to throw this special at all. And I don't want to hit his block, because if I hit his block and he's holding block for a while, he is going to get regens, which will make him unblockable. And then if he throws a special while unblockable, it's going to be trouble. So you can see he's not using this special at all. He's got me backed in the corner now. Have to push him over special 2. Then he decides he wants to hold block. So I'm dexing in the corner while he's unblockable. He's got a special 2, which if he threw and then missed the dex on while unblockable would have pretty much immediately killed me. So now thankfully he did use a special 2 quite quickly after I hit him a couple of times. Used a special 1 quite quickly as well. Now we're going for our own special 3, and that is going to push him back towards his side of the fight. Of course, Safeguard prevents it from dealing any real damage. Now we're just going to back him up into his corner. And at this point the fight is mostly in hand as long as I don't do anything stupid. do get tagged there, but thankfully he only goes for 2 hits and neither of them crit, so it's not really a big deal. Now again he's holding his special, thankfully he uses it before he backs me up, and at this point he's nearly down. The Assassin's Mastery, as you saw there, actually bypassed the safeguard. We got a 5.7k crit. And he does go down. Definitely a bit of a sketchy fight there. But solo is a solo. So now we're going into the final fight of the war. This is against a Mojo boss. We're using Dr. Octopus here. So I've never taken a full Mojo boss with Dr. Octopus. I have cleaned one up from about 85% before. So I have done the fight, but it is not an easy fight. There's quite a lot to manage. So the first issue is I need to get my power lock active, ideally when he's below a bar of power, and then I need to throw my special free. Now simply getting the power lock active in this fight can be a bit annoying, because Mojo has naturally decreased combat power rate, which means the armour up buff actually will apply before the power gain just from regular hits. And if the armour applies, that is going to equal a degen. So you saw there, if I hit him again, I would have got the armour up rather than the power lock. So I opted to block and get the heal block instead. So here I'm block hitting him. I wanted him to use his special, but sadly he didn't. So I actually have to go for my special free while he's above a bar of power, which is far from ideal in this fight because it means I can't really go for any intercepts with the power lock up, and it also makes it more difficult to avoid prompts. So there he had the block hit prompt, so I was dashing back because if he gets to 5 prompts completed in a row, then he will place hater buffs on me, and that will probably kill me in 1 or 2 degens. So now the plan for the fight is I need to keep this power lock up, and I need to keep his completed prompts below 5. Some of them are pretty much impossible to not complete, such as that one, which was dash back. Some of them are a bit easier, such as the whole block one, and then a couple of others can be played around, like the block a hit one here. So finally he does use the special one. Go for an intercept there because I don't want to trigger the block a hit prompt. Refresh the power lock, and now I'm going to back off until that prompt expires. You can see now he's back down to only 1 completed. And there I take a heavy attack to the face. Luckily it does not crit. Otherwise it may have killed me, or at least brought me down to probably like 15-20% health at most. Now I'm basically just going to keep this power lock cycle up and try to keep his prompts below 5, but that is of course RNG dependent. If he keeps getting the dash back prompts, it is going to be pretty much impossible. Here we got use a special attack, which is one of the semi-avoidable ones, but because the power lock did not have much duration on it, I couldn't really avoid it. So at this point I just need some good RNG on the prompt, that not get one that I can't avoid completing. Thankfully the prompt that comes up is hold block, which is one of the easiest to avoid, and now he's back down to 0. So I know now there's probably going to be at most 1 prompt that I sort of need to not complete, and then the rest will probably be down. We get a whole block here, which should be avoidable. Going to go for some intercepts, keep that power lock up. This is what I really like about Dr. Octopus's power lock. It is 15 seconds long, so you do have a window to actually play fairly defensive and still be able to refresh it. It does also refresh on the first hit of the special one, which lands relatively quickly. So at this point I'm playing fairly safe. I don't want to really bother going for any intercepts unless I absolutely have to. He's down to 9%. Should be able to get him down before he has an opportunity to get to 5 prompts, but luckily he triggers hold block anyway, which I can avoid. Go in for the punish there, and at this point he's nearly down, just need another combo. And that is the first war of the season over. Really good war for me. Mojo boss solo, 9 fights, 0 deaths. Very happy with that performance overall. And we did end up winning this war 12-7. So good war to MIBR. Naturally died a few more times than I was expecting them to, but definitely not complaining about it. Pretty solid war from us. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.